Welcome to the Football Financial Show. I'm Chika and I'm joined by Frank.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the show.
Okay, Frank, how's your day going?
It's going well. It's going well. We thank the guy up there. It's going well. How's it going? How things over there?
We thank God. Better enjoy the summer now.
Yeah, because see, it's
You
cool.
know,
It's flaming.
winter is around the corner. Oh, let's go straight to business. With
Okay.
reports that former Juventus attacker Federico Chiesa is close to joining Liverpool for 30
Yeah.
million euros. How do you rate? What can you say about the signing, both for him and then because it seems Juve wants to go a separate direction. Yeah, totally different direction. With young players, they sign a lot of young players. Also, the players from the academy are given a chance. So
Yeah. Next generation. Yeah.
so yeah, so what do you think about for some context, right? For more context, last season he played 33 games and then he scored 9 goals and 5 assists. And then he was a substitute. He came in as a substitute in 12 of those games. And that was his second best Juve start or second best Juve season as regards start. So
Yeah.
how do you rate decide it? Both for Liverpool, is it what Liverpool need and then for him as a player?
Um. It's it's a very opportunistic buy from Liverpool, and as a lot of people say in the market, there are no bad signings. They're just overly priced assets. And if you can get a player of Federico Chiesa's quality for less than 20 million pounds, that's fantastic. It's one of those signs you can eat it if it doesn't turn out quite well. Unlike other players where we've seen trying to move this window, like the Sancho's, Anthony's, Sterling as well, who are just like it's a difficult tax to move them on. But I think for Liverpool, he brings a lot of experience. He brings space. He brings space in wide positions. He he's quite he plays both on the left and right. It's quite hard to find where he plays best. But I believe he plays better on the left, coming in on the stronger right foot, calling shots or calling crosses into the box. He's a player where, with Liverpool's European games this season, you need a lot of players coming in and out for more first team starters like Salah, Jota, and Gakpo, and it might also signal that there might be one Liverpool attacker who might be leaving in the near future.
Yeah, it can be Ben Doc or whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't no senior attacker, either the Gakpos or the Nunes,
Okay,
because
okay.
there's a lot of rumbling about Nunes, him not being happy with his minutes
Minute.
at Anfield. But I say, if you're not happy about your minutes, maybe you should try finishing better the chances you get. Then maybe that would help you get more games. But I think with Liverpool, it's a smart deal. This is a very Michael Edwards football data crunching smart buy, and I believe for both parties it's a very good deal, and it gives Chiesa the fresh start he needed in terms of breaking free from
But I'm
the
surprised
Juventus.
he hasn't left all these years. Like he has been. First of all, before he went
Yeah,
to
because
Juve in Fiorentina, he was linked to Chelsea. He was linked to so many clubs. He signed for Juve. He had before the injury. I think he had one of his best seasons before the injury, and before
yeah,
he had
yeah,
an
yeah,
ACL injury,
that's
2021-2022 season. But
yeah.
I was surprised he stayed back in Juve. They've always wanted to shift him a long time ago, but he's one of those players and he just didn't want to leave.
Yeah, and I feel Chiesa is one of those players that is a victim of the whole Allegri debacle in his second Juventus tenure, where you can't the football they play is not very. It doesn't help the attackers in the team. Ball. They're not very ball oriented in terms of how they control the games, create chance for the attackers. You see,
Yeah,
even a striker like Vlahovic had a lot of
he
hard time
struggled.
finding. He struggled a lot last
No one,
season.
no one
So
talked about him again.
And so, but this season he started this season quite well. He's got a few goals already. But with Juventus, they're moving towards a more they're going to a younger, fresher squad in terms of bringing players from the academy, buying some younger players as well in across Italian football, and ultimately, Chiesa is one of those players who's going into the last year of his contract. He has a big wage packet over there in Italy, and it's a player that they've been very not necessarily pushing out the door like Chelsea have done with Sterling and as and such, but they've just kindly guided him towards the exit. Like, okay, this is what it is. You've not been in our plans for a long time, especially during preseason and the first two games in the Serie A. So it's a very good deal. Liverpool will be happy with that. The fans will be happy with that. Their first official signing of the summer, outfield player. It'll be interesting to see how he performs in the Premier League. Because
Okay, yeah, I'm listening.
if you look at the data comparing to Liverpool players like Jota, Gakpo, he comes he comes he looks impressive in terms
Yeah.
of the expected assists, passes into the box, attacking actions, aerial duels. He's a very potent player. So I think it gives Liverpool another dimension where it brings more pace to brings more pace to a very pacey attacking lineup. So I think Liverpool fans should be quite happy with this deal.
So, okay, for more context, if you enjoy what you are watching or you enjoy what we are providing or our products, please smash the like button and subscribe, comment. You can drop a comment as regards
And
what topic you want us to talk about.
and if you have any questions regarding our topics we've covered or whatever, just put it in the comments and we'll get back to them as quickly as
Yeah,
possible.
okay. Then here we go. For more context now, I'll go. You know, I'm a data guy. I'll go with last two seasons. He's played 21 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. Right, wasn't too
Yeah,
great. Now he scored 9 goals last season. Now out
in
of
a
those, in
in,
all 9 goals last season,
nine.
but 3 of those goals came in the Juventus last 16 games. So it tells you that he scored a lot of his goals beginning of the season, but he struggled towards the end of the season. Okay, that's it. Now, what are his strengths? I've noticed something with Liverpool this season, and this is what I think is going to happen. I think the coach and the slot is going to play Gapco and Diaz on the left in a 4-3-3. Gapco and Diaz on the left. So Gapco either starts or Diaz starts. Then in center attack, that's the number 9 position, Jota or Nunes. Now you look
Okay,
at the other side, Salah is on the other side. They have a young starting Ben Doak or whatever, but he might not be ready. He needs some minutes somewhere
Bedok,
else. Ben Doak.
Bedok, I think
So I think they
he's
should send him on loan. Now
no
if
no he's leaving. He's gone to join the ex assistant manager Pep Linders at RB Salzburg.
oh, okay, that's a good apple. Oh,
So
he's in the house. Okay.
so to if I
I
don't know
think
if
he's
people have
going to
been paying.
shadow Salah.
I
He's
know,
going to be
yeah,
second person when Salah
yeah,
comes in or Salah goes out.
yeah,
But these are his strengths. Progressive carries. And if you notice, last season, Salah used to be a guy that used to take on players that used to carry the ball a lot. But he has changed his game. He's getting older. He no longer has the speed he had before. So he has become a better passer. He has become like a better playmaker. His assists have gone very, very high. So now, but Chiesa is the opposite. 4.57 progressive carries per game. That is 97 percentile. That means he belongs to the 97, like success rate 97. Then successful take-ons 1.34 successful take-ons, 87%. That's very, very high. So that is different from what Salah does. You can always bring him in when Salah maybe 60 minutes, 70, or he can start some of the cup games, or he can start some key games. Also, shot
yeah,
creating actions. This is his best stat, 4.96 shot creating actions. That is 99%. So that
yeah,
means his style of play creates shots, right?
yeah,
But this,
and especially in the Liverpool team all Liverpool team that's very direct in the past in terms of they go from back to front very
well,
quickly
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they attack with a lot of intensity. It looks a bit different this season with the new manager.
This guy wants more control, some more control. Like,
But it's still there's still in little flashes you can see where the players where they combine more in terms of one touch play, quick reverse passes, the pass and go movement. But with Chiesa, it could be one of those deals where in 6 months from now you ask like, wow, how did Liverpool pull this off? How did they get a
yeah,
player
how
this
did you
fantastic? So because they especially with the returning football director Michael Edwards, where we've seen the signings in the past with the likes of Ronaldo, Robertson, even Salah, Mane, where as time goes on, you're like, wow, they've done it again. How did they get this player, this fantastic player for this amount, for this amount of money? But for them, I think
But you
it's
know,
it's all
Liverpool is the kind of side that can afford to do all this experiment because they're already a good side. The structure is there, the team
yeah,
is there. They
exactly,
can
exactly,
afford to bring
exactly,
some,
yeah,
but
exactly.
certain teams like Chelsea can't afford to take this sort of risk because if it doesn't go well, it alters a lot. So when you have a good foundation, that's one of the reasons why if you have a good foundation, they can decide to pick these players if it doesn't
Yeah,
work out.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
They had one Ato from Juventus, right? He didn't
Yeah,
work out.
it didn't
He
work out.
had injuries all through. Now, this is my problem with the Chiesa signing. He had ACL. I think he's recovered, but he's no longer. He hasn't been the same player
He
ever
has
since.
he's lost that he's lost a
Quickness,
bit of
sharpness.
that
Yeah,
he's lost that quickness over long distances, but he still has that burst of pace where
yeah.
we saw at the Euro tournament. He didn't quite have a good tournament, but he showed a bit of flashes
Like,
where you could see there's still a player there. There's still a player in the right system with the right players around him. He can still contribute on the pitch. But again, as I said, that
it's not
it's
penalty goals. It's not penalty XG. It's only 11%. That's also. But you
Mhm.
could say he played in a Juventus side that.
that
Then
struggle
he.
that struggle that struggle to that struggle to control, dominate, and ultimately
But the
score
problem,
goals. So
another problem I have is that he's Italian. And this is the
it,
problem because Italians sometimes struggle to adapt to the English. The managers are good, but the players sometimes have this problem. It's not like the
just
French people are the easiest to adapt, like any French player, and maybe the
and
Germans
yeah,
also.
and
But
it's
sometimes the Italians struggle. So would he adapt? If he adapts, that would be
yeah,
very good.
true. Yeah, that's and it's something where it's another point where ex Liverpool manager Rafa Benitez spoke about quite recently on one of his on the podcast where he said like most of this like the struggle they had then with him as manager was they had they had plans to bring certain players into the club, but it's very hard to convince players to come to Liverpool as a city
Yeah.
compared to even Manchester and compared to
Manchester,
London.
yeah.
It's very hard where the language. I believe Chiesa speaks fantastic English from Italian, but also most Italians speak. I think a lot of Italians speak good English. So, but it's in terms of settling into this new environment, it will be tough. It's always tough for a player coming to the Premier League or going to a city like Liverpool where you have the same old problems where you've seen players in the past face, where it's the language, it's the culture, it's the weather, all those little aspects of human life. But again, as you said, it's either one of those days where you in a few months we all marvel in a few months you all marvel at how fantastic Liverpool have operated,
Well,
or in a year or two he's back in Italy on loan with an obligation to buy or something like that.
I
So I think
I
it
look at I look at the Liverpool squad and I'm surprised why their fans get shocked or get angry when people say they should be challenging for the title this season. Because
well
if you look at the squad, I'm not talking about who is out of contract next season. I'm looking about just this season. They have the players because we just
yeah
mentioned six players in attack:
they
Jota,
do
Nunes, Gakpo, Salah, and they always have Salah who has scored the highest, who has contributed both goal and assist the highest since he came to the Premier League. You come to
yeah
midfield, they have Slide, they have Gravenberch, they have McAllister, they have Harvey Elliott, they have Curtis Jones. These are five players in the middle of the pitch. You go to the defense, they have Basley in for Trent. They have Konate. They have the Kwanzaa. They have Van Dijk. They have one of the best, if not the best, goalkeeper in the Premier League, Allison. They have
yeah
Robertson. So, like, except the new coach needs some time. You understand what I'm trying to say? But
Yeah, I
if not,
understand.
they
Understand.
should challenge.
Understand. But I know, but again, it's a situation where the what gives a lot of Liverpool followers a lot of anxiety going into this season is it's not the fact that the first team needs improvement is because they have, as you said, if you call the names, there's a lot of experience in that team. There's a lot of battle tested players in Van Dijk and all the players you listed.
Klopp
But the problem,
left them in very good hands before he
yeah,
left.
exactly, exactly, and they still and I get the feeling there might still be this extra motivation to come out this year and show that they're just that there's life after club from the coach and the players and to the whole club. They need to put their best foot forward this year. But it's a situation where if we don't know what's lying around the corner in terms of injuries, suspensions, and whatnot. If a player like Van Dijk goes down for a couple of months with an injury, or if a player like Robertson goes down, or McAllister, you look back at your bench, and this is a problem where this is one solution to Chiesa comes in where you then have options with Chiesa on the bench. You have options with Chiesa, Diaz, Jota, Nunes, those kind of players. But in terms of in centre back position, right, left back, and in that number six
Yeah, yeah, that's the
playmaker
major.
is where if there's this last two games, Gravenberch has been fantastic in that position where he's learning a new position as the season goes on. But if he falls short in terms of his performances or he picks up an injury, you're then having to tweak the whole system. You then have to either bring back McAllister into that role, then you bring Curtis Jones, then you have to then tweak the whole thing around, move players around, and that's where the anxiety with Liverpool comes in, where they see most fans we see we might need a bit extra. Like we see what City have done. We see what City have done with Gundogan, the player that's coming that left last year has come back and he fills in multiple roles in the squad. He brings in a lot to the squad. It's not necessarily if it's not a flashy player, it's not an expensive buy, but it's a Swiss Army knife. It's a utility player that brings in the experience of the pitch, the guidance, the leadership. But it brings in solves problems on the pitch as well in terms of playing different positions, and also as a goal scorer as well in terms of a player that can sub in for Eden Haaland in certain games. That is also still very potent in terms of scoring goals, creating chances for his teammates, and that's where I feel Liverpool might struggle a little bit. And where if the season starts going, where you get to those tough hard months where you're playing games every 3 days, Europe,
Mhm.
cup games, European games, and Premier League games. So, but with Liverpool, there's still I believe they should expectation should be for them to comfortably be in the top four this season with how
Yeah,
they started and what they have and with the new coach and how he's negotiating the whole situation. But to challenge for a title, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not quite
okay,
sure about that.
let's move on to the next one. Nketiah, Arsenal's Nketiah has been reported to be close to
Mm,
a 30 million. Is it pounds? 30 million pounds move to Crystal.
okay. Um, is I don't. If I was to give the Chiesa deal 5 thumbs up, uh, I'll give this two and a half. I'm not overly optimistic for Nketiah. I don't really believe he's a player that you can really count on as a Premier League striker. Or he's ultimately going to go to Crystal Palace now, or reportedly going to Crystal Palace, and I feel he's going to be a backup striker again because the Frenchman Jean Philippe Mateta has. He's found form and he's going places with his form. Last night he scored 2 fantastic goals yesterday.
Against
So he's
Norwich.
gonna go against Norwich. So he's gonna go to Crystal Palace. He's gonna be more times on the bench, and that's where I have problem with the whole situation
And
where
for 30 million, yeah, like
yeah.
30
So that's
million.
why it's something where it's one of those times where I feel Crystal Palace have sort of rushed in to just get somebody in because there's been a lot of a lot of pressure to the club to get their business done. Especially after losing key players like Anderson and Odyssey. But I find I think the
Man,
signing
I scored
where
yesterday also.
yes, yeah. So there are a few players in attacking positions. They they might need another attacking midfielder or winger in
But
for
you know why
as
I
extra
understand
options.
why they are doing the signing, because now they could take a risk. I would have said go to another league, the likes of Fennel, the likes of French league, get another striker. He could be cheaper,
No,
25. But the
no,
problem is they had Edmondo or whatever, and then it
yeah,
didn't work
Edward.
out. Edward, okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
but
Edward. It didn't
yeah,
work out.
but
So maybe they
yeah.
are scared of doing that. He's in
No,
Nketiah, you know what you get. He's tried and trusted. But when I
do you
looked
know
at
what
his
you
stats,
do? You know what you get?
yeah,
It's
in terms of or in terms of pressing, if you're
it's a
because that is what the coach wants, players who press. I looked at his stats here, man. He has the best defensive stats I've ever seen for a striker. I'm looking at
oh wow,
zero
yeah,
point
yeah,
nine
yeah.
six
I look at
tackles, that's
I'm
76%, 0.35 interceptions, that's 80%, 0.88 blocks, that's 80%, 1.75 area doors won, that's 52%. So if I wasn't watching him, I would have said he's not a striker. So that means when you have him in the team, maybe a better Chiesa can fancy playing with someone like him because he's going to be help you out defensively.
yeah, no,
But
yeah, and
look at his non-penalty XG is very low, 0.31. That's 27%. That means if he's not scoring and defending for you, he's not creating anything. That's very, very low.
no, but it's like I said, it's a very I I I can't quite remember the last time Crystal Palace signed a player from correct me if I'm wrong, signed a player from another Premier League club, or signed a player from another Premier League club that was on the bench, or couldn't really get into the first team for this amount of money, for over £30 million. The MO in the last few years has been to get players from the Championship, Ulysses, the Eze's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Adam Watsons, where you bring them in, the young, fresh, hungry players. They come into the team. They have that period where they have that bedding period where they come in. Some of them take 6 months to a year to bed in. Some take a couple of weeks, like Adam Watson took a couple of weeks. Then started going to that. They started showing good performances. But it's unlike Crystal Palace. I feel I don't want to use the word panic buy, but it feels that way to me. And in terms of for the because let's not forget
I would
30
have
million pounds.
preferred
So
him go to another league because I don't think he's prolific enough. I would have Marseille
it's
would
not
have been the best for him. Like
no
I'm
it's
just
not
saying.
it's not even about it's not about because the problem with Nketiah is he's not played enough for us to know whether he's prolific enough. He doesn't play enough games because we see that Arsenal his
They
stats, how
started
many
10 games
stats.
last season, 27 games, 10 starts, 5 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, but yeah, last season he barely had the last 2 years he barely had more than 1,000 minutes. That's we can't. I I know it's at a big club like Arsenal who have big aspirations, but it's a big gamble for a club like Crystal Palace because they don't really
that's what I'm saying.
spend that
30
much.
million, yeah.
It's a big gamble, and I personally would have loved to see Crystal Palace do what they've done is go to the Championship. There are a lot of good players in the Championship. There's like a striker for Plymouth Argyle, Morgan Whittaker. I believe he's on his way to Burnley. That's a player where I felt they should have invested reasonable amount of money in less than £30 million, and you get that value add in terms of he comes in, he takes his time to bed in. Because if Nketiah goes to Crystal Palace, I see the next 5 games. If Mateta is fit, he's on the bench for the next 5 games. So
Okay.
and so it's a situation where you're swapping bench from one bench to another bench, and it's tough. It's tough, but I personally don't like the deal. I don't like it. I don't like it's for Arsenal. It's the perfect deal for Arsenal because you get £30 million for an academy
Yeah,
player.
yeah, yeah. And
You
you
can
get
then
him off
pursue
your
your
book as
you
regards
get it off your
salary.
books. Exactly. You have £30 million towards PSR pure profit accounting, but it's just not. I don't think it's a good deal for Crystal Palace. I don't. Because Crystal Palace is one of the clubs I picked to have a fantastic year. This is a very impactful season, but I hope it's not one of those situations where you bring in a player because we've seen in the past where they brought in Benteke for big money as well off the bench at Liverpool. He
Yeah.
comes in, he expects bigger things. And I know Crystal Palace now they attack more, they have better players now than they did back in the past, but I just don't see him moving the needle enough for Crystal Palace, especially at that price point. Well, we'll see.
Okay. One of your favorite players, Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga has this. There's a report that he's Bournemouth
No, it's
have agreed.
confirmed. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
confirmed.
confirmed.
Confirmed. Yeah, it's
Okay,
confirmed. Yeah,
it's a loan,
no, it's
right?
confirmed.
With no obligation to buy.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure. It doesn't quite
How
say,
many
but
years does he
he's.
have to run on his contract? 1 year.
Uh, yeah, but he signed. He signed an extension by 1 year with Chelsea. That went on the loan. But it's a way for Chelsea to keep his keep value or keep
And
for the player to hold a bit of value still.
and Bournemouth have been looking for a goalkeeper because they inquired about the goalkeeper Liverpool signed Mama. How do you pronounce
Mama Mashvili, something like I can't. It's
Mama
yeah,
Dashvili? I think it's
yeah,
Dashvili, Mama Dashvili or
yeah,
something. With
yeah. But
Villarreal. Oh, with Valencia. Sorry, not Villarreal.
Valencia. So you
Valencia, yeah,
said
with Georgia.
you said Bournemouth have been looking for a goalkeeper. They should
Yeah.
have continued. They should keep looking for a
So
goalkeeper.
you feel Kepa can be well? I don't think so. I think he might not be the standard of Chelsea, but he can be a good goalkeeper for Bournemouth.
He's not the standard of he's not the standard of anywhere. He's not a good goalkeeper.
But if you look at the clubs he's been to Chelsea, Real
Yeah,
Madrid,
yeah,
and
yeah,
those
yeah,
clubs are
no,
title winning sides. So,
yeah. I know, but
so,
it's still
so
if it's still if you go, especially if you go to like you said, he's played at Chelsea and Real Madrid, where I think at Real Madrid he was okay for what he was for a loan, an emergency loan signing. Where as the season progressed, ultimately they found out that initial second choice, Ukrainian goalkeeper
that's
Lunin
an
was
indictment on his ability.
was actually better than this expensive loan player he took from Chelsea, and he ultimately lost his place. And he's going to go to Bournemouth for the sake of Bournemouth. I hope not as a starting goalkeeper, because if that's
No, but Neto is their captain, but Neto is already approaching. Neto should be like 33 or something because
yeah,
I know him from Valencia.
so for their sake, I hope Neto keeps his place. But it's a situation where if Kepa becomes the number one keeper, that could be the difference between them being comfortable in the Premier League and them actually fighting for relegation.
But in terms of reflex, Kepa has one of the best reflex as a
Well,
goalkeeper.
he
His greatest problem is his.
so yes, no. So you say he has a very good reflex. Well, his biggest problem is his shot stopping, which is generally your job as a goalkeeper to stop shots.
Yeah.
So it's you know what? No, for Chelsea's sake, I hope he goes there. He performs to a good level, and Chelsea can get if they can get if they can get a voucher back for him. I'll take a McDonald's voucher for Kepa right now.
Okay, Frank.
So it's
Today that should be all for us today. Meet up next time by this same time. Next week. You have any word for our fans?
just keep supporting the page, like, comment, support, share the page with your friends and colleagues, and let's get this community going.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.